What is up, YouTube? Are you ready to learn about Axios today? Axios is a promise-based HTTP client for your web application. Now, it's going to bring data into your application. You're going to be able to hit your REST APIs with it, and it makes things super easy and super simple. We're going to do GET and we're going to do POST requests today inside of a React application with it. So I'm going to explain to you what our end goal is, and then I'm going to put it all out on the table in a few chunks of code. So make sure you watch until the end so you get a thorough understanding of what's going on in this tutorial. I am so grateful to be almost at 500 subscribers. And to be honest with you, I made a video a while back. It got a ton of views on traffic. I don't know if you're familiar with the proxy, but anyways, that's when I knew that I had a need or a want for my skills to teach on subjects, on technologies, on programming, on coding, because that's what I like to do. So I promise to put out videos constantly on new technologies, on existing technologies, and basically making sure that you understand them and giving you a good entertainment value at the same time. So make sure that you hit like on this video if you got value from it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to keep up with the latest content. I plan on putting out a video, even if it's a short video, even if I don't feel like doing it, even if anything happens, if there's a pandemic. Oh wait, we're in a pandemic. I'll put out a video. So I want to put out at least 2 videos a week and ramp that up and continue to grow my YouTube channel, because this is something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about teaching. I'm passionate about sharing my knowledge and my skill set with others to help them be better and apply this skill set in their life. And anyways, with that being said, let's get started on this tutorial. Alright, so here we go. This is what the web application, this is our goal, this is what we're going to accomplish. So here I'm working on integration for someone trying to connect a third-party data. So he wants his inventory to sync over to his e-com dashboard. Right now it's not doing that with one of his suppliers. So I'm creating a tool for him to basically, what we would do is type in the SKU from one of his products here. He would search this, and it would go grab the product from the supplier and from the e-com dashboard, and it would compare the quantities. So this is from the actual supplier up here at the top, and it's saying that they have 5 items available, but in his e-com dashboard, he's only showing that he has 1 product available. So that has not been updated manually, and it obviously has not been synced. So I created this, and basically what I'm going to let him do is you hit this button here, and it's going to send me a message saying that this has successfully been synced. So now if I hit OK, you'll see that this was updated in real time. The product has been synced. So now his store is reflecting a quantity of 5, which matches up with the supplier. Now, this is just my situation and what the result that we're going to get from Axios here. You know, again, this can be used for anything to bring any kind of data into your application. It can obviously fetch data from a REST API endpoint and bring that in for you to use however you want. So this is going to be our final goal, and then we're going to shift over to code now, and I'm going to build the 3 functions that I'm using to make this all come together and work. Okay guys, it's time to get into the meat of this tutorial. No more beating around the bush. Got that? Alright, so in our code editor, you have, this is the page that we were looking at. Basically, all this stuff down here determines what shows on the screen, yada yada. This is running with, I have my React backend and my React front end, or my Node backend and my React front end running in the console. So this is live update. And if you notice, I have 3 functions up here. Right now, they're not doing anything. They're just console.logging. I hear that this one right here, Mr. Beast, if you click on it, this function, it will put Mr. Beast to the console, and then you'll also win $100,000 and a new Lamborghini and a new house and a huge firework. Who knows? So, anyways, here's all of our stuff. So, the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to search for the product over at the supplier and pull in that information, the product name, the quantity that they have available, etc. So I have a function for that right here. Let's see, pull up the application. For the search button, that's going to be, I believe it's on the next page. I'm passing it into this component right here. And when this form is submitted, it's going to call this props handle request, which comes from over here, handle request. So this is going to be our first function that we're going to want to build, because we need to get that data in to show the product from the supplier, because that's the information that we need to update our dashboard for our product. So the first thing we're going to do is that, if you've noticed in the video earlier, there is a loading animation. So I'm doing state with that. So as soon as this button fires off, I want to show that loading animation. So I'm setting the loading state to true, just to fire off that loading animation. I like to wrap my my API calls in try-catch blocks, because that helps me display errors, catch errors better. Sometimes I don't do it, but a lot of times I do, because that will help me debug and solve the issue quicker if I run into an error with anything. So for the first thing, we're just going to hit, we're going to do a GET request, and we're going to hit one endpoint, and we are going to provide a parameter in the query to be able to get back specific results for a specific item. So let's create the response variable. And because this is a promise-based HTTP client, we're going to want to await our results. Then we're going to do an Axios.get, which is the shortcut, easy way. There's another way to do a get, which I'll do in the next function. I'll show you how to do it in the other way, if you want to do it another way with more options or whatever. And we're going to put the URL here. Now I'm just going to copy and paste the URL from over here, because it's just a lot to type out, or it's long. So, and this is the URL that we're hitting for our REST API endpoint to get our results back. So it's just like if you were in Postman or Insomnia, which is the REST API client that I use, which is actually amazing. I love it. It's super simple, very easy to use. Kind of looks something like this. So this is the post. This is a post one, for example. But here we have a get, and then this is where we're going to search, and we put our parameter in there. So breaking this down for Axios, it looks like this. This is our endpoint, and then I'm putting in the SKU here, which is what the API requires to have the SKU, so that it can do its thing and look for the right product. Then we're going to go down here, and we're going to set the state for the WPS product, and we're just going to spread out this data in here so that it sets the state. And up here is where I have the state for the WPS product. So as soon as we get that information, we're setting the state for the product that we pull back. Let's get a quantity variable. And this is actually going to call on my function up here that's not built yet, but we're going to build it soon. And basically what this is doing is this is going to give me my quantity that I have personally in my dashboard, not what the supplier has. Here we're going to set the product from my dashboard with my quantity, which is also a state. ED product is the product that's in my dashboard. WPS is the product from the supplier. Let's do a set timeout to make this loading animation last longer, look cool, so that it's not just like a flash, then it's gone. And then we're going to set loading to false. After 2,000 seconds, 2,000 milliseconds, 2 seconds. Boom. Now that should complete our first function for get. So we're getting the product information from the supplier, and we're setting it in our state. We're also setting our quantity for our product in our ecom dashboard. So you have to see how that plays out. How do we get, we call this function down here. So let's work on this function here. This is a simple one. This is a short one. So once again, I'm going to wrap it in a try-catch block. Catch my errors. Okay. You can do console.error if you want. However you handle your errors, everybody does it differently. But I just console log them, and when I finish the application, I'll do more with them. But so we're going to do another response here. We're going to await Axios. We're going to do this one differently, though. We're going to do the more verbose version. And how this works is basically going over to their documentation here. Right here is kind of what we're looking for. So you put the method inside of the options. You put your URL. You put the data that you're sending across to get your information back, or your parameters, whatever you need to send, and then it will send you the information back. Now, if you go down here, this is a list of all of our options that we have to send across to the API. So you could set headers, you could set params, you could set the method, auth, response type, everything. So that's really cool that it gives you all these options. So if you have a complicated API and you need all these different things going on, then yeah, you can come over here and this will give it to you. I'll put a link in the description of the documentation. So let's get back to our application. So we're going to do the method is going to be a get, our URL. I'm just going to copy and paste this one again. If you notice here, I'm using the React app environment variables. You could set environment variables for your React app front end. You just have to prefix them with React app and then the rest behind it. So in case you're wondering if you didn't know that, you can do that. That's very possible. And this is pretty simple. We have the SKU here. We're putting it here, and I don't think we need to do anything else for that one. That should literally be it. And we're going to return response.data from here. Save that, compile our application. Now it's running. So the first part should work with where I'm able to ping and then get back the information and compare my quantity versus the supplier quantity. So let's check that out and see what it does. Refresh just for good luck. And then I have the quantity here, or the product SKU here. This is an actual product. I've searched for it before. Got my loading here. Boom, it works. So we have our fuel line blue 1/8, and it shows the quantity that the supplier has. Shows me the SKU, the product supplier ID, and the quantity that I have. And I already synced this product, so in this example, we won't even need to sync. However, I'm going to load in a product with something that we do need to sync that's different, so I can show you how it works. But if I crack open the console here, these are all just, these aren't related to the API at all. But if I go to the network tab and I search here again, here's where my API call is. So this is the information that it gave back to me. This is what my request looks like, 200, we got an OK. This is my query string parameters. and all my headers. So everything looks good. This works. Now let's get over to the post method. Okay, so we're back into our functions and our code. And here I have this explicit update quantity on hand function, which I'm calling right here on the sync quantity button over here. And this will, in fact, put the available quantity of 5 to my quantity, so that I'm showing 5 instead of 0, because I have access to 5 products. But right now it's saying I have 0. So let's work on that. This is going to be a little different because this is a post request, which means that I'm updating data on the server. So I'm not just getting data, I'm updating it and getting it back in some cases. So just like the other two, I'm going to kick this one off with a try catch block. Simple there. And we're going to start off with our API call. So we're going to await a response from Axios.post. I'm going to copy and paste my URL. Remember, this is your URL in here, whatever endpoint you need to hit. So I'm going to update it here with my URL that I need information from. And that's it. That's going to be my post. So basically what I'm saying here is update the products. This is the SKU of the product that I want to update, and I'm passing in the quantity. So I'll put the SKU /5, and that will give me 5 in my dashboard. And then the API will handle everything on its end, which, by the way, I did create all of these API end routes and all the logic and the functionality to make these things work. So in a separate video, I'm going to show you how to make a REST API and how I did it, and I'll use the same example to show you how I'm working with these API endpoints. So the first thing we want to do is one of our response, we want to check the status. And the way that this API is programmed is it will send back a status of either success or failure. So if it is successful, we're going to set some state. We're going to set our ED product, which is the product for me and my dashboard, not from the supplier. Let's spread out the existing product information, and we're going to update our quantity on hand. We're going to update that with the QTY variable, which is the actual quantity that the supplier has. So, boom, here. And, in a real application, live production, fancy smancy one, you might not use alerts to show that it's been successful. You might use some other kind of good-looking notification. But for the sake of this tutorial and a simple project, we're going to use just regular old alerts. Quantity has successfully been synced to ecom dash. Woohoo! Okay, so this is going to basically fire off when we have a successful response. We're also going to check for response.data.status, a failure response, and we're going to act accordingly on that. In this case, we're just going to alert nothing has changed. The quantity is already accurate in ecom dash. Because basically, you get failure. Obviously, if something goes wrong, it doesn't work. You also get failure if your quantity is already matched. It'll just send you back a failure. It won't do anything. So, ideally, if we do get an error, it's going to get caught here in the catch. So more than likely, this just means that, hey, the quantity that you're updating to is already accurate. It's not errored out, but we didn't do anything. So if we save that, that should be it. I mean, let's see, let's test it out. I mean, that should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. So let's refresh this here. And what Okay, 22-0291. So let's search that. Okay, got our loading animation. Boom. Okay, available quantity 5, my quantity 0. So if I hit this button here, that should fire off our update quantity on hand function. Hit sync quantity, and immediately we get a response saying that has been successfully synced to ecom dash. So if I look down here in my network panel, where is it? That's a get, request, get. This is my post right here. Boom. It's my post. My response. Success. Okay. Guys, that's it for this brief Axios tutorial. I hope that you gain some knowledge out of this. This is just a simple, show you how to use this in a React application in a real situation. This is a real project that I'm working on, and it's the good way to deal with REST API endpoints. Node does have a native fetch function that you can use, but I like to use Axios. It makes things simpler. It is promise based, so you can also use the .then and the .catch with it. But it's been tremendously helpful. It makes things super clean, super easy. You should definitely check it out if you're looking at better ways to pull data into your application from a REST API endpoint. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for checking out my channel. Don't forget to hit like if you got value from this video, and subscribe to my channel for all the latest content, tutorials, so that I can continue to deliver you the top-notch web development tutorial content. My channel is going to be different than a lot of web development channels. I plan on bringing you tutorials and tricks and stuff that I use in my career as a web developer in an entertaining way. So I know a lot of these coding tutorials can be a little boring and drawn out. Well, I'm taking a different approach. What I want to do is I want to have fun. I want to be myself. I want to bring humor. I want to bring positivity, and most of all, my personality. I love teaching. I love sharing my knowledge and helping people grow and be better in their career, their lives. It's something I'm passionate about. So please help me take this channel to high levels, and I will continue to put out the best content for you possible. Thank you. If you know any web development friends, you can go ahead and share this video with them. I really hope that you got value from this content. Until next time.